Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm delighted today to host John Knutson, Head of Practice and Senior Consultant at Dhruv Technology. Hey, John.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. So, our topic today is upcoming trends in manufacturing. An exciting topic. Um, John, looking back 5, 10 years, what was the major shift in manufacturing in terms of technology and systems and digital solution or digital transformation?
So the biggest change that I've seen in digital manufacturing over the last 10 years or so has probably been the move away from custom built or legacy MES systems to modern platforms, things that are run on .NET or on the cloud. Um, Generally, manufacturing executives are looking for more transparency or to see compliancy, and they can't do that easily with their old platforms, right?
Of course, with an emerging need for because there's a lot of data, so you need to integrate systems. You need them to speak to each other. You need to have the exact information. So it's a need, it's a challenge because there's a lot of information, right?
There's a ton of information available, and so much people don't always know what to do
Yeah,
with it.
absolutely. So it's like overwhelming data layer, overwhelming information, so you don't have the ability to pick the important ones. So this is a growing need, of course.
It is the ability to aggregate that information, sort it, and put it in a usable format, right?
Yeah, visualization and accessible. Okay, because we find that people don't want to run reports anymore. They don't want to work for it. They don't want to dig the data. They don't want to put it in context. They want to click and have an answer.
That's true.
And it's a lot um, a lot to do with the ability to use instant applications. People when they go mobile, okay, in the mobile, by the way, you click and that's it. You're done. You're not doing 10 or 15 actions in order to get one thing's done. So people don't have the patience to run systems. True.
That's very true. It's not like it used to be where you wanted a new report and you sent the request to IT or development and it would take some weeks
Yeah.
just to review the request and grant it or not,
True.
right? And then months more to develop the report and then you start getting it.
Great. So, but if you think about it as the idea of new platforms, cloud solution, sunk in the U.S. manufacturers, they accept
Oh
it.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Everybody sees and everybody wants it now. That's very true.
and they're able to get it. So they're able to define what they want. They're able to set the expectation.
Generally, I see an increased ability to convey the requirements. That's true, and uh, and of course, on the platform side, if you've got a new platform with this capability, and you have the vendor or the partner that knows the tool and knows the data, you're gonna get results much more quickly.
If you take a look, let's say 2 years from now, what do you see happening? What will happen?
2 years, I think most of those traditional MES providers, the ones that have been running the old systems, right, they're going to be moving to a more hosted solutions, right, whether it's cloud hosted or what have you. I think they see the writing on the wall that manufacturers don't want to manage their own systems anymore, right?
Yeah.
They can so these traditional vendors can either offer a solution and try to appeal uh, to the modern requirements, or they can get left behind.
And some of them I saw are trying to do some kind of a facelifting. Take the existing solution that they have, do some kind of a facelifting, making it a bit more modern or a bit more accessible, but staying with the same solutions or basically the same idea of an execution system.
Yes, and I work with some of those systems myself. I know exactly what you're talking about. They build a new framework around it, and it does offer increased ability, increased usability, um, and being the modern framework, or at least partly on a modern framework, it allows more people to work on it and produce some results, right? But sticking to an old core will leave you with other complications, right? You've got to have somebody that knows that old core system.
Right. And another thing that is a bit of a challenge is that you need to have the system accessible in the mobile. Okay, still preserve your security issues. You don't want everyone to log into your system and see what you're doing. Have sufficient security measures and allow them to log in anywhere, from anywhere.
That opens up another concern that a lot of people have is traditionally your manufacturing network, all of those IT systems are in a closed network and not exposed to the public, not exposed to the cloud, and often not even exposed to the business office.
Right.
They try and keep all of that segregated so that you minimize the risk of viruses and hackers, right? So moving to these modern cloud platforms imposes new challenges in security and the ability to think outside of those traditional boxes, right?
Although separation between OT and IT network is a great concept. Okay, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the main issue with that is, are you writing back to the machines, yes or no? If you can impact the production process, that means that the measures you need to take should be, you know, let's say, advanced, okay, and more complicated. So you need to secure your OT network, secure your machines, not allowing anything to happen, but still have the ability to read the data automatically and not rely on manual input, and and enjoy the fruits of a cloud-based system which is accessible for you. So this is a challenge too, right? Let's go wide with thinking about 10 years from now, how it will look.
10 years from now, I hope to see a lot more automation. I've already seen a few lights out factories. I'm really excited about this. I'd love to see a lot more companies being able to go completely automated, completely lights out. Lights out meaning they don't need lights because there's no operators in the facility at all. It's run by itself. I'd love to see a lot more of that. I think we're going to in the
And
next
you
10
believe
years.
in the concept of fully automated, because there are skills that I'm not sure that are you able to do with a robot or with a cobot or with some kind of automation. Do you fully believe that manufacturing, traditional manufacturing that are running right now in 10 years from now will be a full lights out operation?
I think that it can be. Whether these manufacturers want to take that investment and that challenge or not. It does take a very long viewpoint to see the benefits and probably see the ROI on it, right? If you invest that type of capital in automating your factories, then you have to have a valid reason for it. Maybe it's health risks, maybe it's controlled processes that require the automation, and maybe it's simply to, uh, I don't know, reduce labor dependencies, right?
Absolutely, and it comes with great context to the fact that the younger generation is not willing to work in a manufacturing environment, or let's say they don't have the tradition or the skills that the older generation currently running on the production floors, which is aging, as we all know, all around the world.
Hmm.
um, they have knowledge, they know the machinery, they know the process very well, they know the bits and the
And that's another point to the automated factory concept, right? Is you're taking advantage of these new technologies and the new skills that the new workforce wants and wants to use. Right? You're absolutely right. They don't want to go sit on a production line and assemble pieces manually. Right? But if they can tell a computer by a few button clicks to do it for them, they'd be very happy.
Absolutely, but you know what? It's an interesting concept because if you take a look, for example, at the automotive assembly lines, the welding is done by robots very accurately, but
Hmm.
additional actions are done by human. You know, the following, the downstream actions, because humans have the ability um, to have visible indications of what they're doing. So it's an interesting topic how it will evolve, but I'm sure that it will evolve using, you know, advanced technologies, AI, vision, you know, things that are science fiction for now, but it will come. It will come, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So it relates to the next subject, which is the current challenges for manufacturers. Let's What do you see are the more, let's say, the top five challenges that U.S. manufacturers are facing today?
I would probably say labor shortages for
Yeah,
sure. Um, Material shortages with what's been going on in the world the past couple of years, of course.
supply chain issues.
Um,
Yeah,
as you had mentioned, the aging workforce. So not just the ability to get new employees, but the loss of your existing employees and the loss of the knowledge that they have.
right.
Right. So you're losing a lot of process knowledge, a lot of what they call tribal
Yeah,
knowledge on the shop floor.
yeah,
Right. Um, what else? Of course, the challenges for digital manufacturing, right? Uh, I guess even before going to that point, really is compliances, right?
compliance. True.
A lot more industries are getting more and more regulations and compliance concerns. Of course, there are ones that everybody understands: pharmaceutical, medical device manufacturing, even food and beverage.
Right,
Right? You need that type of control, but and then converting to a digital transformation and taking on a automation, IoT, and these advanced systems is a challenge in itself because you have to be able to walk your shop floor through that transition. It's not just the concept of, okay, we're gonna take this and we're gonna automate these things, and we need you to put in these new data points or what have you. Right? There's a complete different shift in the mindset for the shop floor operator when they did have to just do their task, and now they've got to do their task plus enter what they did into the computer.
more than that, I would say that there are two kinds of systems in the world: the ones that follow a process and the ones that lead a process. And when you introduce, I completely agree. When you introduce a technology, you know, which is advanced in terms of, let's say, operational excellence, okay, digital twin, um, effectiveness, or let's say performance, okay, oriented, it creates a change inside the organization. Things that people have done for the past decade or two using the same tools, the same procedures, the same workflows will change. They will see some,
Mm-hmm.
and now they will see things in a different way. Okay, they will put their focus on different obstacles or challenges. So it will shift their day-to-day life, and it will transform the organization from within. And this is another aspect of introducing new technology. Traditional manufacturing is staying behind. You know, if you take a look at the leaps in technology and adoption of technology in other verticals, manufacturers are staying a bit behind. They're a bit late, a bit.
Many are.
Yeah. So I would say that another challenge that we see, or which is not really regulation, but it's trends in with the, let's say, um, the buyers, okay, the customers. If we're looking, for example, at the plastic industry, it suffers from bad PR. A lot of things are going on in terms of plastic usage, plastic manufacturing, plastic usage, environmental footprint, carbon, equivalation, or things that eventually um, will will set the mind of the manufacturers that this is sustainability is an issue. You cannot ignore. Okay, you need to monitor your material waste. You need to monitor your energy consumption, and it's something that needs to be in front of you at all times. More than that, the customers will ask the corporations to show that when they are manufacturing, they're doing their best to fulfill the public opinion one, not the regulation. Do you see it?
That's yeah. Oh, absolutely. Um, Regulations as they relate to digital industries and the digitalization of industries uh, means controlling those processes and the materials and having the traceability,
Right.
as you had pointed out. Um, Luckily, modern MES platforms have these capabilities at its heart. And this is one of the big drivers for manufacturers to leave those legacy systems behind and move to the modern platforms. As I mentioned, it can be a big leap for those manufacturers moving from a traditional manufacturing environment with no IT controls at all and trying to apply uh, everything in one shot,
Yeah.
right? Um, Many manufacturers wanting to take this leap don't always realize the effort and the impact on the shop floor. Uh, this causes underestimated projects, both in timeline and budget.
Yeah.
And I think, as we had mentioned, too quick or too severe of a change can lead to a resistant shop floor where the operators may even quit. I don't want to do this anymore. I
Yeah.
don't like the new way, right?
So that means that when you want to introduce a new solution, it needs to be, let's say, non-intrusive. It needs to be agile and simply to digest in terms of change. It needs to bring value day one because people need to understand the immediate value and then embrace it. So if it's a
Mm-hmm.
lengthy effort, okay, and preparation and things that you need to run, let's say for 6 or 8 months until you get something, and then you come really heavy with a solution, then it will create a negative reaction.
It will. And another way to approach this is kind of phase wise implementation, right? First, get onto the new platform and have as few clicks as possible, make it as close to the traditional environment as it can be, and then slowly over time take stepwise changes until you get to the compliancy goals, until you get to your corporate
Yeah,
goals, right?
absolutely. What do you think about the need for remote management? We saw it during COVID. Okay, COVID was a great example of production floors keep running, people are working remotely from home, um, lacking the ability to see what's going on. So do you think that there's a change in that one?
I think that is going to drive to fully automated factories even quicker,
Yeah.
right? Everybody sees that it's not just a matter of people getting sick and spreading it
Hmm.
on the shop floor, right? Uh, if somebody can do the same work from the remote home, whether they're sick or whether they're healthy and need to stay healthy, right? They're not risking sharing any diseases. And if they can still do their work from that remote location, then that's great. It also decreases the overhead costs at the facility, right? They're drinking less water, using less electricity, and all of the rest. So some corporations have seen benefits in doing this.
But in terms of remote management, you need to see what's going on. That means you cannot, when you are on premise, okay, you have the ability to step out of the office, go down to the production floor, have a tour, okay, meet the shift leaders, understand what you have, take a look at your own premise solution, your MES system, okay, and see what's
Hmm.
going on. When you are totally disconnected or disattached from the experience itself, that means that you need a good tool to remotely manage the production. You need to have great transparency, great visualization.
Absolutely.
But
And it takes these modern platforms to be able to do
yeah,
that.
absolutely. And this is a growing need. I totally agree. People understood that they can work from home. And by the way, hybrid or work-life balancing or hybrid, working from home partially during the week and partially on premises is a trend that we see. At least we see it in Europe. Do you see it in the US too?
Yes, we do see it here. I know several people that have had their companies changed in that same manner.
Yeah,
That they'll work from the office a few days a week, and they work from home the other days of the week.
great. So let's because this is what you do, okay? Dhruv works with digital transformation for how long now? For a long period of time, right?
Drew's been doing this work for about 18 years or so.
18. And
Uh,
you personally?
I've only been with Drew for a little bit over a year, but I've been working with MES systems myself for somewhere around 12
12
years.
years.
It's been a great journey for me. I really enjoy the work.
Yeah, I see that we share the same passion, okay? The combination between technology and manufacturing. So
Hmm.
what was, let's say, the greatest case of digital adoption you saw during this 12 years?
The biggest transformation I saw was actually a mattress manufacturer.
Yep.
And mattress manufacturing, if you think about it, handling these big box springs and coil springs and then sewing together the coverings and the foams and all of that, and to introduce MES to this environment was a huge change. And admittedly, one of those factories did not take the change very
Yeah,
well. They didn't like it. It was a rollout to three different factories. I don't know if they've gone on to more since, but one of those factories did not like the change. They did the bare minimum, and the reason, of course, is that the operations manager let them. You know, you have to have the support of management in order to make these changes.
right.
If management doesn't enforce it, then shop floor is not going to do it. They take the easiest way every time.
Yeah, so this is the worst one. What was the nicest one?
Oh, the biggest
Yeah,
success, probably probably a steel manufacturer.
yeah,
They take steel slabs and roll them into to thin sheet steel.
yeah,
Very very complicated job, right? And to implement automation and MES to be able to help control this really improved on operator safety.
right.
That was the biggest thing,
Okay,
right? But then there are lots of efficiencies that they gained using automated controls to manage the machines and change the thickness of that steel instead of operators having to spin valves and spin wheels to make it right.
right. So basically, the ability um, to download exact set points to the machines, right? And
Hmm.
not rely on manual or some kind of independent information regarding the cold rolling. Okay, yeah, great,
Yeah.
good. Let's talk about verticals that you think will be left behind in terms of manufacturing? What will be left out?
Uh, I think the most manual work are the ones more liable to be left out or at least lag behind.
Yeah,
Agriculture, probably the biggest one that comes to mind. And but even there, I've seen concept. Just the other day, I saw a video clip with an experiment for drones picking apples from a tree.
yeah,
Now, I don't think that's very practical in the long term, but who knows? Maybe it will be the fact that those drones can probably, aside from maintenance, operate 24/7 instead of however long your laborers can get out there and work a shift.
right. I totally agree that intensely labor dependent actions in terms of manufacturing will be left out. Yeah, it will not be something which is logical to do for many reasons. It will not be logical, and there will be solutions both to practice, deploy, do it in a technology way, and control the process. I totally agree.
Yeah, and also those industries probably have little capital that they want to invest in
Yeah,
technology in this way, right?
yeah. But I think the technology, by the way, will get cheaper uh, because there will be wider usage. Okay, so as
I,
advanced the technology will be, then it will be cheaper, and then it will be adopted um, easily by, let's say, medium-sized, small-sized, medium-sized manufacturers, and not only the giants.
Absolutely, as people use it more, costs come down. The software gets more competitive, more vendors in the marketplace trying to compete. The hardware for it, everybody wants to try it.
Yeah,
So the manufacturer of those devices for automation, whether it's the connectivity of it or the functional solenoids and devices, all of that's going to come down in price the more it's being made.
great. So coming to our last moments together, so I'll say that we've got let's say, a pragmatic look at the past, but I think that the future is bringing cool new methods, approaches that will make eventually manufacturers' life more easier, and they will be able to be more competitive.
Absolutely, I agree. I think that lots of manufacturers love the idea of increasing automation. I think the lights out factory concept is very appealing to most, if not all, manufacturers, whether they see a path to get there or not.
Yeah,
Um, the present reality is that material movements, the handling of those materials, as you had pointed out, and the sensors for everything is just very complex and costly to get into. Again, it takes a really long-term view to be able to see the ROI in it, and most companies just aren't ready for that kind of commitment
yet,
yet.
yet.
That's right. As prices come down, as compliancy regulations increase, uh, people are going to make the move more and more.
Absolutely. So, John, thank you so much for joining us. Been an interesting conversation, and thank you all for watching.
Asaf, thank you for inviting me. I always enjoy talking about digital manufacturing. It's work that I'm very passionate about, fascinating, challenging. I truly love my job, and I want to bring more people to it.
Great. We share the same. Thanks, John. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Asaf. Take care.